wonder if we'll see Colt when he gets down there.
Perhaps. It is quite a distance.
Are you
Yeah, it's
both
gonna
ready?
take him a while, huh?
Correct. One will have to hope if these binoculars can even focus when he gets there. We shall see.
That's pretty far.
Where's JJ?
Oh, hi Delilah. I haven't seen her yet. I've only been here about half an hour or so, though. Colt was here and, he headed down and let's see, Isabella we saw and, Tiki Rava, but yeah, no JJ yet.
We'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll head down ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, we were watching, to see if we could see anyone entering from here.
Will it be outside or inside the manor?
It will be inside the compound.
As I thought.
Delilah, I don't know, if you heard any gunfire a few moments ago?
I did. Was that you?
No, we were wondering where that came from.
Perhaps the village.
Yeah.
Let's head down. JJ can meet us there.
Okay. Sounds good.
One moment.
Sure.
Oh my lord. Tuesday's outfit is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. That is 100% still Fen, full Fen energy, but, you know, classed up in Omen style. I love that so much. Also, hi everyone. I hope we're all ready. Have you been in the compound before, Fen?
Yeah.
A couple times.
All right.
Herbie showed me around one time.
I'd like you to stay close to Drummer.
Understood.
If anyone threatens him or things go south, shoot them.
Got it.
Delilah. I really hate to interrupt you again. I'm so sorry. I was just trying to find details of where the hell this meeting's supposed to be tonight.
Here, at the compound.
What was that?
Here, at the compound.
Okay.
And you are one of Julius's listed guests, I assume?
I should be. Yes, ma'am.
Well, should be is not good enough. We'll have to check.
That's fine.
All right.
Good day, Miss Rose.
Howdy, drummer.
Herbie?
What's going on?
Are you ready?
Hello.
Are you ready?
Not really.
All
I
right.
think we need to talk about some of the technical things of what's happening here.
All right.
You want to go inside?
Sure.
All right. You guys wait out here.
Sure thing.
Hey, keep everyone gathered out here for a few minutes, unless it's Julius and Shepard.
Okay.
Very well.
I just want to be clear about the order of events here. All right, so what are we calling this? A tribunal?
A hearing.
A hearing? Okay.
At least that's what was in the invitation.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. And the purpose of it is, specifically, I want the specific purpose so I don't fuck it up.
Would you like a copy of the invitation?
I'm sure I can remember. I just want to get it straight. I want to make sure, maybe we should wait for the other two so everyone's clear.
It's probably best we wait for the other two.
All right. Right, but let's just say the order of the operations for this. What's the order of the operations again? Edgar goes first, right?
That's right.
And that is he gets to make a statement.
That's right.
And then I was thinking about, are they open up for questions from the judges?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the other thing. We have this thing where they get to pick the judges, right?
They get to request a judge, Herbie. It's up to us to accept that request or not.
Right, but there's only 3 people available.
Technically 4.
Yeah, it could be.
Allow them a moment to put forth a request for a judge.
Okay.
We will deliberate and decide who the judges will be.
Only from the 4 of us, right?
They can put forth any judge they'd like.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was just from the council, but that's fair.
But it's up to us to decide. I think
Boy,
for
that's
this
gotta-
first one, it should just be the council, but that's me. Unless they have a really good reason and request, I don't see why not.
I'd be interested to see who they say. Although it could get tricky, you know, if one person gets their pick picked and the other one doesn't. But such is what the nature of things. Okay, so then Edgar speaks. Are we going to do Morgan speaks and then questions, or questions after each of them?
Questions after each.
And does the other person get to ask them questions?
I think so, yes.
All right. Now, here's my follow-up question to that. Are we gonna ask them if they agree to this, or would they just have to agree to it?
What do you mean?
I mean, the question part. Like, you know, do you want to do questions, or do you want to do questions?
No, we're doing questions.
Okay.
They asked for this trial. They agreed to the hearing, whatever they want to call it. They have to abide by the rules that we set.
All right. And then we're gonna pick today who gets the castle. That's the goal. Okay. All right, I got it. No, I guess we talk to the other guys when they show up. Is there anything I forgot?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, I may make some proclamations at some point, and then everyone's just gonna have to go with them, depending on what happens.
All right. I may have an announcement to make at the very end.
Okay. Do you want it to be a surprise?
I haven't decided if I'm going to announce it yet or not, so I suppose yes, it will be.
Okay. Well, fair enough. If I just said I'm probably going to proclaim some stuff off the top of my head, then I'm sure that's fair too. All right. But we'll just wait for the others then. I think after everyone speaks, I'm going to tell everyone to get the fuck out while me and whoever the judges are in here. Fair?
All right.
Yeah, I like it. And then they could come back in for whatever the decision is. Where'd everybody go?
We haven't seen anyone yet. I mean, we saw Rose and Tiki.
It's Tikarava. Who is he with?
I don't know.
Was he just here?
I don't know, but I was quite clear with Rose that she has to be on Julius's list. She understood.
Well, here's the question, right? What if other people who just like the boys show up?
Yeah, I don't think they will, but we can escort them out if they do, huh?
Well, I just think we see who's there and what other interested parties are left.
Sure.
But we let the people in who I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone else is welcome to wait outside.
Drummer heard the boat a moment ago, so we think this could be the one.
I doubt it.
You think it'll be the next?
Mr. Herbie, would it be prudent to have someone check the back entrance to this place while the trial is ongoing?
Herbie.
Hey, JJ.
Hi, JJ.
Is anybody here yet? Or no? Just us?
Just us.
Oh.
I'm not sure he heard you, drummer.
I simply asked if it would be prudent to have someone inside, not now, but later, to check the back entrance while
Oh, yeah.
things are going.
For sure, for sure. It said you look nice, Finn.
Oh, you did? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. You do too.
Well, thank you so much. I know.
Yeah, because you're not wearing like melon pink or whatever one would even call that color.
Listen, at some point when you're older, you won't be such a drab son of a bitch, okay?
Wow.
So you'll change your
Wow.
mind. You'll feel dumb later on.
I'm turning my back.
Well, it's your best side, so thank you.
You're too quick. I can't even be mad.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be. Trust me.
I know. That's how I've survived all these years.
Shepard.
Hola.
How are we?
Fine.
Well, good to hear.
Waiting for Julius, Morgan, and Edgar.
I did see Morgan earlier today, and he was headed to the crossing to the jailer. But
Alright.
he means to be here, it sounded like.
I see.
More people.
Oh, it's Colt.
Oh, last all the essential people are here.
Is there anything I should be made aware of before we commence?
Like you got here first.
Yeah, how'd we beat you here?
I went over to the docks to see who might be coming off the boat.
Did you see anything?
Uh-huh.
What'd you see?
I think we'll wait for Julius for that, Shepard.
Very well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he is.
Are we all waiting out here and before we go inside, or what's the...
Would I be able to talk to Herbie for a moment?
Sure. Come over here.
Thank you.
Are we all waiting to be seated, or how's this work?
Yes, we're waiting.
Okay. Hey, JJ.
Hi, Colt.
Hey, Shepard.
Hello, Colt. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Glad to hear it.
Uh-huh.
You seem like you have a story to tell.
I always got a story to tell. Just gotta find someone who wants to listen.
Well, perhaps another day.
Yeah. More excited to see if this is gonna be a good story to mix in. Well, I guess I'll just sit over here next to the drummer.
Make yourself at home.
Thank you.
I assume we're not expecting any issues today.
No. And the way that it's set up should prevent any idiocy.
Very well.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Everything all right?
That guy's leg went missing.
Uh-oh.
Someone took his.
She thought I took it, but I didn't take it.
What?
Claudia thought that I took the leg, but I never said I'd take the leg, did I?
Probably an animal took the leg.
I said, maybe I said I'd take care of it, but I was just saying that. I didn't mean it. If I did, I would have just thrown it off the side, put on a glove or a towel or something and thrown it off the side.
Yeah.
A leg?
It's a long story. We could talk about it later. Someone needed to have a leg amputated. And they left it on
I
the
see.
bed. And the doctor thought it was a threat. She didn't know what had happened, so.
That sounds like a pretty succinct explanation.
It's probably all that's
Hey,
needed.
Herbie, I don't know if you heard me, but Edgar didn't show up on the last boat.
Yeah, okay, but not surprised.
Yeah.
It's got like one more boat.
Well, I suppose if both parties are late, we can't fault one if they're both late.
Little unlike Julius, don't you think?
Very much so. Unlike Morgan, too.
Morgan and Julius and Pavis got off the last boat, so they're here.
All right.
I guess they're taking a long time to walk over here, though.
They're aware to meet at the compound, yes?
Shall I walk down and just make sure everybody knows that needs to know?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I can do that.
They were headed to the village.
I'm on it.
Oh man, this group is so quiet. It's eerie. Nobody's saying shit. It's excellent. The best part is that I know all the role players would happily like sit and talk on any other character, but it is setting the tension, you know? Meyer was saying that earlier. Is he live right now on possibly Meyer? I'm not sure if he's ever gone live on Drummer before. I could be wrong. Okay.
Excuse me. That was the boat just now.
It's creepy that he knows that, dude. It's creepy that he's got the
So
fucking
we'll
boat
see.
on a timer somehow in his brain. It's creepy. Perfect for drummer, yeah. I definitely really enjoy the idea that he's he's a storm or an omen or some sort of supernatural entity all on his own. Oh man. So I had some chili. I have a surprise twist for this fucking trial that nobody's expecting. I'm very excited, you guys. I'm very excited. I think everyone's gonna like it. A surprise twist, yep. I haven't told anyone, so I hope I can pull it off. I was the one that kind of arranged this hearing, and I know everyone's worried about it and thinking like, oh God, it's going to be we're going to make a decision as to, who gets the castle at the end. But come on, I got plans. It's too early for that. It's too early in the arc for that. Come on. Come on, have faith. Is it chocolate? Does the winner get chocolate? Chocolate chili? I imagine chocolate and chili would be really fucking good, right? It's that whole sweet and spice. Delilah calls dibs. I knew it. Yeah.
Well, he didn't get off the last boat, so I'm not sure where they are.
You didn't find Julius?
Julius is talking to Flo somewhere.
Oh, right.
Morgan and Pavis are in the village. They're gonna head up in just a minute.
Oh, well, I'm glad they're all...
Yeah, I told them, it's time. Get up here. But,
I think this thing next to me is supposed to be an egg, or just a design.
It looks very egg-like.
Yeah, it does look very egg-like.
There was one next to you, too.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it's pineapple on the top.
I was looking if it was any different.
Does it look like there's something that fell off? Maybe it was planted leaves.
Yeah, it might have been.
Herbie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Great.
11 past and we are still missing one of the guests of honor.
Well, there's a lot of people not up here on time, so if they're all lazing around down there because one of them isn't around, that's another issue.
Where's Morgan? Where's Morgan?
Last I saw, he was in the town center.
Well, everybody's excited. All right, let's go inside and discuss. The four of us and discuss what the fuck is happening.
JJ,
Shipper, good to see you.
Keep everyone outside, please.
And you.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, there's Morgan behind us. Morgan walked into the compound right as y'all were entering.
All right.
I told JJ and Ven to keep everyone outside while we discuss.
All right, we just want to be clear about what the fuck is happening here, right?
All
Is
right.
anybody, any of you guys any confusion? Is there any questions? Do you want to know how this is going to proceed?
I'd love to know how things are going to proceed, if you have the time.
That is why we're in here. They're going to show up. We'll make some statements. Then we'll have the judge selection, of which we will select the judges, but they each get to suggest a judge they would like. We could choose to pick it or not. Right? We picked 3 judges.
Mm-hmm.
I got it right.
I believe
so far,
that was the
right?
plan, yes.
Okay. Then Edgar will be able to speak first. And then he'll be open to questions from the judges, from Morgan. Do you want him to ask if they call anybody to speak on their behalf too?
Yes.
When does that happen?
I can lead this, Herbie, if you'd like.
Okay. All right. I guess we're all set then.
I would assume
I just had one
calling
thing.
The witnesses would be either before or after our questions.
They're each going to present their case, yes?
Mm-hmm.
One after the other. Edgar first. He will be answering to claims of abandonment.
Okay, so who's bringing these claims? Us or Morgan?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does.
And
Since
why?
Morgan is the one challenging the rights to the castle, I would assume it is Morgan.
Because if we're bringing up claims of abandonment, then we're the ones questioning Morgan's legitimacy. Right?
Edgar abandoned, not Morgan.
So, listen, we're all welcome to ask the questions that we want. But, so we're going to be, but what about our questions from Morgan? There's nothing we're specifically asking Morgan about?
I think we can each ask whatever we deem necessary. Whatever
Okay.
comes up, depending on what they say. Like, I don't understand why this is so complicated. I don't understand why we have to have all the questions planned out as well. Like, we have to listen to what they have to say before we know what we're going to ask them, right? I won't know what I want to ask them until I hear what they have to say.
Okay. I thought we were done. And then what?
After they present their case, we ask them questions. They have the opportunity to present their guests. We can ask their guest questions. Then Morgan will be able to ask Edgar questions. Then we'll switch to Morgan. Morgan will say what he has to say. Be given the opportunity for his guests to speak on his behalf. The floor will open for us to ask Morgan questions, ask questions of his guests and or witnesses speaking on his behalf. And then Edgar will have a chance to ask him questions. And then we will deliberate. Like, I'm not sure why I have to spell this out. Like,
All right. Sounds good.
I don't get it. Do you need anything more specific?
Nope. Sounds good.
Shepard?
I just had one point that I hoped that we could agree upon, which is that no one is allowed to ignore any questions from the council or questions asked in this process. I know that Edgar made a very significant point about ignoring Morgan during his first arrival. I just want us to have a united front in not tolerating that for the proceedings of today.
I agree. I can address that, if you'd like.
Very well.
Jules?
This all makes sense to me.
Is there a pool from which the judges are being selected?
I mean,
or is it simply anyone present?
we can pick whoever. I'm assuming, unless they make a really convincing case for somebody that isn't one of us, it'll just be us.
I think it should just be us this time, but this is the first hearing and a precedent must be set. The precedent being the people involved in the hearing have the opportunity to request a specific judge. It can be anyone present, but it is up to us, the four of us, to decide who will be the three voting. Deliberating.
Yeah, so, not that he would, but for example, if Morgan says Pavis, that's ridiculous. There's no way. Unless you've let, Sabas on the fucking thing too, then it evens out, which is pointless. And then one person really decides. Which has its merits.
It's an interesting opportunity for us, maybe not this time, but in the future, to safeguard against corruption, or even just to be aware of allyship. Who people recommend is something they're telling us, right?
Yes, I think they will both be aware it would be poor form to nominate someone so closely aligned with them, but they are able to do it. We just don't have to accept that nomination.
Exactly.
Understood. There will be no bad blood on my end if I am not one of the judges, obviously. I see how it will be seen.
You best come out of there, or we'll slit your throat.
Who the fuck is over here?
It was Tiki Rava. I saw the hood.
One of yours, Jules?
No. Friends
Stray
of friends.
dog.
He was next to Rose when I said very clearly they had to be on the guest list specifically, or they wouldn't be allowed in. I would encourage you to take care of him. Don't wait for me to do it. Or I imagine your friend will be upset.
He's a friend of Chaucer and Rose's, correct?
Yes, that's correct. And if he's aware of the consequences, well, then he should know better than to be lurking in the shadows.
I need one of you right now to tell me a reason I shouldn't drag Tiki Rava in here and blast his face open to kick off this trial.
I think that's
I
a
have
great
no
idea.
reasons to give you.
Julius, who of your people is going to be upset if I shoot him in the face?
Rose and Chaucer would not be happy.
Herbie, I
But to
don't-
my understanding, Tiki was more than warned about the
He was.
expectations here.
he's-
Okay, well, I'm going to go talk to them.
I think that's all we needed as well, correct?
Yes, I believe.
Yes.
Shepard, were you saying you were stepping down potentially from judging?
I don't intend to step down, but I understand if it is perceived a certain way if I'm one of the judges. I think naturally if I end up siding with Morgan, it's going to be seen a certain way regardless. But I would still like to ask questions.
I think that's important. I think the council should always have the ability to ask questions, but it's up to the three chosen to deliberate.
That seems more than fair to me.
I think so too. That way, if the council grows, we still have voices, but we trust each other to make the decision. I may have an announcement to make after this as well. We'll see. I'll be back.
At the end of the day, Shepard, no matter who votes which way, it will be interpreted a certain way. But
Of course.
I understand your hesitation.
I would just rather not give low.
And where is Herbie?
Looking
Around the
for
corner.
Chaucer on the corner.
Looking for, yeah, those two.
All right. JJ Fenn, if you see this Tiki Rava individual, you will apprehend him, please.
Understood.
Any luck, Herbie?
No, I got this. Don't worry.
All right. JJ Fenn, follow Herbie's lead then.
Enough. And I know he cares very deeply for Rose and Chaucer, but if he doesn't...
If Rose and Chaucer care
Figures thing.
deeply for him, they need to keep him on a leash because he keeps making these kinds
Exactly.
of blunders.
He's going to get himself killed, and deservedly so.
I was extremely clear, harsh with Rose. And he was standing right next to her, so he did know better. I refuse to allow Guarma to be seen in any way other than strong. And I refuse to stand for this kind of behavior.
No, we are in agreement there.
Are we going to address lateness or are we giving grace in this one?
Depends on if the boat was an issue. I imagine it's a question we will ask. It's a good one.
I'm
He was
not
late
sure
to
what
the
you
last
mean.
meeting as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure what you mean by the boat being an issue, but I took the one that left, 20 minutes before? And his people were nowhere in sight. In fact, 2 of his people rode out of town very quickly.
I see. I'd like to clarify that I will be very specific in my questioning of Edgar's intent. I'm not going to accept loose declarations of improving the island. And I'm also going to ask him how closely he intends on collaborating with the Saints Crossing Sheriff's Department.
That's fine. Keep his specific plans out of it for now, if you don't mind. I have a plan for that.
Very well. I'll put my faith in you on that.
Thank you. Would you two like to wait in here?
I think we can return to the open air.
All right.
I hear you say something about Tiki Rawa.
Like, we're over here.
Yes, Herbie's dealing with it now.
Oh, was there... Did he do something?
I believe we're about to see him get shot in the face.
Oh, shit.
Ooh. Wait.
What'd he do?
Not Herbie. Tiki Rava.
At least I don't get shot at a trial for once. That'd be nice.
He came prowling through the passage at the rear of the courtroom.
Oh, shit.
After he'd been explicitly warned.
Bad dog.
Did the same kind of shit when we were watching the fight, as I told you. Or protecting the fight. He's a curious one.
No satisfaction brings this wolf back, I'm afraid.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Pardon? You look ready.
Tough as a dandelion.
I did not. No.
Thank you.
To be fair, those motherfuckers grow in any conditions, so that's kind of a compliment.
And who are you bringing, Morgan, Pavis, and Goho?
Mm-hmm. And Ryan,
Anybody
if
else?
you
As
can
expected.
Wake up in time. He's really lousy at getting up sometimes, you know what I mean? Real tricky for him.
Do you know this Tiki puzzle?
There any requirements before we get in there? Should
I
have
have
my
noticed
long
as well.
arm somewhere.
Is he of the island or from the mainland?
I suppose we'll see how armed they are. I don't mind you being armed in response, if need be. But that might be up to everybody as a whole.
Alright.
If either Morgan's representatives or Edgar's representatives start something, either side will forfeit the claim. So I wouldn't start anything if I were you. But you're welcome to finish it.
Sounds good to me.
There you go.
If I'm gonna commit to the look, I'm gonna put my two arm to the side. My long arm, not my two arms, sorry.
That's fair.
We ain't gonna need long arms anyway, let's be honest.
True.
Welcome.
Yeah, look who it is.
Lily, go ahead. You go first.
My great honor to introduce the returning Castilians of Guarma.
Welcome back.
Didn't realize we were bringing entire armies.
Nope.
Everyone
That does appear to be
has 3
a
guests.
gross.
Everyone has 3 guests. The rest were Jules and Herbie.
Very well.
Ready, drummer?
Are we all able to go in yet?
Please, by all means. No Tiki Rava, I see.
No Tiki
He's left the island.
I'm sorry, say that again, Rose?
He left the island.
Did you encourage him to leave before speaking
we
to
did.
us?
Herbie spoke to him.
All right. Weakness.
Shall we?
Good luck.
You're right. It looks like everyone that needs to be here is here, right? Just a couple things before we start. Bienvenido a Guarma, new friends and old. It is always good to see so many Guarmanian, Guarmese people in the same place gathered together for any kind of purpose. I would like to state, I hope we can all agree right now that if anybody comes creeping through that tunnel or gets caught in there, we all agree that they're gonna get hurt really bad.
I
Fair?
believe that already happened and you let him go, Herbie.
I did because I'm nice to people. It's good diplomacy.
May I ask who was found creeping? It's very
This
funny.
guy Tiki Rava. He was warned multiple times and he still did it. So, yes, perhaps my heart is soft, but so be it. While part of me believes this would be a wonderful occasion to start off with the death of a moron, I would rather just have this go on as planned. Let it be, it could become a tradition. We shoot somebody in an animal head before it starts, but then we gotta find someone every time. So this way's easier. I just want to say thank you, Edgar, Sebas, Mr. Delgado, Morgan, Pavis, and the rest for coming and agreeing to this. We will, I'm going to hand it over right now to Delilah, who's going to give you the rundown and explain the proceedings tonight.
Edgar, will you and your people kindly step to my left? Morgan, will you and your people kindly step to my right? Edgar Lopez, when you first arrived, you refused to acknowledge Morgan Windward as the current warden of the castle. You refused to recognize his claim, his authority, and instead, you insisted we put forth certain proceedings for a trial as to the legitimacy of the residents of the castle. That trial is tonight. Before we begin, you will introduce yourselves, your name, and the claim you believe you hold. You will also introduce your guests, or allow them to introduce themselves. The proceedings will be as follows. The council will select 3 judges. You may each make a request as to who you wish to see be judge. But understand, ultimately, the choice does not belong to you. Your witnesses may speak on your behalf. You yourself will be called upon. You will answer the council's questions. You will also have a moment to ask each other what must be asked, and the council will bear witness to your questions. And then we will convene. And understand this: if either side sheds blood before the proceedings conclude, your claim is forfeit. This is not a battlefield, it is a judgment, and those who cannot abide judgment have already lost. Am I clear? Good. Let us begin. Edgar, introduce yourself and your people, please.
Hola, gentlemen and gentlewomen. My name is Edgar Lopez. I would like first and foremost to thank the powers that be for granting my request. It is said here that I did not acknowledge Morgan as anything other than a word. This is correct. A steward. The silence and the lack of contest to the impressions made by myself upon here were a concession and silent agreement to the efficacy and truth of my words. Secondly, the hearing that I requested as to the situation again was granted. These two, you can take it and understand it as a concession and agreement, for that is why we are here. As far as Delgado and Sebas, they can say their names here before I continue any further.
You could go first, amigo.
Mi nombre es Vicente Delgado. As far as what am I doing here? One of the Reyes of the castle.
Your turn, fucker.
I am Sebas Rodeo, the third and final king of the castle, a champion of Guarma, a champion of La Bruja,
A part of our equipage is Lily, the valet du champ of the castle. In addition, he's an associate here of ours. His name is Yimbun. Yimbun, come over here and introduce yourself to the grand audience that is gathered here.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Jim Bunt. I am a former corporal of the Exploratory Cavalry Division sent to Canada to round up the traitorous Canadian scum. I am now an envoy and knight of the Three Kings of Guarma. I love these men. They give me everything.
That is the current members of our humble equipage today. Again, I bear gratitude and thanks to Delilah, to Herbasinho, for putting together this hearing upon request. We appreciate. We will now wait for the proceedings to continue.
Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Edgar. Morgan?
Howdy, everybody. I'll make it short, and hopefully none of my guests will start to cry like that man did over there. I am Morgan Winterwood, the current person that sits in the castle, looks after it, protects it from false kings and scum alike. To my right, we have Coho, and we have Doreen Pavis. If they would like to introduce herself or say anything, I'll let them know.
I think you did fine.
Lucio, I'm Coho and I'm old. That's all I got to say.
Dorian Pavis Windward, longtime resident of Guarma.
Thank you.
Doreen.
We will now allow for a moment of deliberation between you, and you may make a request for Judge. You have 2 minutes.
What does mean deliberation? And between who?
It means you and your people can talk and decide who you'd like to request to be judge. And Morgan and his people have 2 minutes to do the same.
We don't need deliberations.
See, I agree.
Then make your request.
If anyone in our equipage has a request, go ahead and make it.
We request the ambassador of Guarma, face of the militia, Herbasinho Coltrane.
Morgan, do you and yours need more time?
No, I don't have a request. Choose whoever you would like.
Noted. Council, please join me up here at the front. I think that makes that fairly easy.
Indeed.
I have one.
Herbie, were you expecting that?
Wait. Probably.
I don't think that's
That was the safe choice.
I'm not surprised.
All right.
I mean, I didn't tell him this was gonna happen, but I'm not surprised.
All right.
You know, I didn't want to sound like I totally knew it was gonna happen, but I knew it was gonna happen.
All right.
You can say that, Herbie.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Good.
And how did you know it was going to happen? Did he tell you?
How the fuck would he tell me? I didn't even, you know, how would I have communicated this to him?
That's not an answer. Did he tell you or not?
No!
Thank you.
Did he tell you?
That he was going to request you? No. But I wasn't expecting it to happen.
Well, forgive me for being smart.
Should it be you three serving as the judges then, as we discussed before?
I think so.
It likely makes sense, yes. I think out of all of us, you would be the one they would have the most contention with.
Well, then let's dodge that contention, shall we?
I agree.
You just let me know when I may call upon them for questions.
I will. The council has deliberated. The judges will be Julius, myself, and Herbie.
Beautiful.
We will now begin. Edgar, the floor is yours. When you are done, we may ask you questions. You will answer them. You may then call on your witnesses. You may ask them questions. We may ask them questions. And then we switch. All right?
Of course. I believe it is more apt to speak like this. This way, the speaker can view everyone without having his back to anyone.
Perfect.
I will say, first of all, that in a matter of this sort, it is good for the speaker to know that insults and foul language given to what he assumes to be the adversary injure not his assumed adversary, but the teller of such foul language. As I have said, we extend our gratitude for putting together this hearing. After being gone for so long, we didn't believe it correct to attend without first getting a proper lay of the land and understanding in our absence what is the climate of Guarma. We learned that there is currently dwellers in the castle. And that is why we appeal to the authority of the island. The authority that we recognize as the true ones. Therefore, we are here to hear of who live and why. If you have questions beyond that, you are free to ask them now.
All right, who wants to go first?
Del, Julius? Shall I ask some then?
I think so, Shepard.
If you would like to start.
Edgar Lopez. It's been some time. Here in my capacity as a member of the council, I am referred to as the Shepherd. That is my title as I tend to a flock from La Capilla.
Are you the one not formerly known as Rabbit?
That name is dead. But yes, I am the flesh. I wish to ask you under what circumstances you left Guarma.
I am a little confused. Will you clarify something for us? The three judges were to be Herbasinho, Delilah, and Julius. Is this correct?
Yes, and all members of the council not currently being questioned are able to ask questions of their own.
See, yet you stand on the stage. The significance of this is what?
I will ask questions. I will not take part in the deliberation.
Is this question coming from formerly known as Rabbit? Or is it coming?
This question is being asked by the Council of Guarma and will be answered by Edgar Lopez. Under what circumstances did you leave Guarma?
Well, Senor Rabbit, if you remember, we left on very fine circumstances. After having defeated scores of pendejos who came to the island to dispute matters and other things. I believe it was something like an Armageddon. Herbasinho, you were witness. It was good times, was it not?
Yeah, no, I did enjoy how I didn't like any of the people that got hurt. When you left or before that?
No, the Armageddon.
Yes, that I
enjoyed. End of the world, and it was for many people that day.
Yes.
See, they got a good taste of Guarma tradition.
Yeah, I'd say, formally speaking, fuck those guys.
See. It was right before Herbasinho and Delilah said, Edgar, the castle is yours. King of the castle. That and its beaches. Well, we stayed there and defeated hordes of foreigners who tried to come and besmirch the land with their presence. After the fact, when more foreigners continued to swear ruin on Guarma, one of the champions who is here present, Senor Delgado, praise be upon him, went to the mainland and defeated Rude Boy Rudy and put an end to their attacks or hoped attacks on Guarma. And then after, Edgar, Delgado, Sebas, they campaigned a little bit in the crossing and gathered up all the enemies of the island and of Delilah and brought them to a grand meeting in the castle. Here in this meeting, Senor Julius, you were there, you would remember. They all one by one voiced their displeasure and desire to hurt the island, to hurt Delilah. They too were crushed and tossed aside like garbage. After all of this, being very pleased with the termination of these funny and silly persons who tried to threaten the island, we left on a journey, a personal one, for the betterment of our home.
Your home being?
The same home that was bequeathed to me, to us.
You left the castle for the sake of the castle.
The home bequeathed to us before your presence.
You left on a journey of self-improvement for the home that you left behind.
Is this a foreign concept to you?
I'm asking you to clarify.
I'm in the process of clarifying. Is this a foreign concept to you?
Edgar Lopez, do you intend on making claims to any deceased or remains upon the island in your time here?
As it is clear that you are unfamiliar and perhaps uneducated on these matters, I shall assist you and everyone here. There was in Russia a great king, Piotr Petr he is called. several hundred years ago. He vacated his throne temporarily and went on a grand embassy. For many years he traveled, learned foreign concepts, educated himself, and finally returned, bringing back with him all the things that he had gathered to help develop and make his home country prosper. Prosper with ideas that were not present in his homeland. Before leaving, he left naturally his homeland in the hands of a capable council to look after matters. We judged that Guarma would be in capable hands, as Herbasinio, Julius, and Delilah were of good health when we departed.
And what is your opinion on the state of Guarma, Edgar Lopez?
We likewise now return with the wealth of knowledge that we have gathered.
What is your perception of the state of Guarma, Edgar Lopez?
The state of Guarma, as we have been only on the island on 3 occasions. The first for the initial hearing or reception. The second as a private guest upon invitation. And the third now. I will give you a more apt explanation as to the state of matters once we are here much longer. As far as the state of things, this would be something that we would hear in this hearing, which again is why I requested a hearing to hear, as we have been gone for a little time.
You have no opinion on the current state of affairs of Guarma.
It is good to be home. My opinion is the air in Guarma is superior to that of the rest of the world.
Did you have something, Herbie?
Yeah. I have a question. It's seems like a natural follow-up to this, if you don't mind.
Of course, Herbasinio.
Should the decision be made when you return to the castle, I would like to know, do you have any plans in mind for that you can share? We all like surprises, but any plans in mind that you could share for things you would do to help better the land of Guarma?
100%, senor. Guarma is a beautiful place. It has riches beyond imagination. It has minerals in the mountain. It has the most fertile soil. It can grow things here that in other places wilt and bear no fruit. It has a beautiful port. It is waiting to be cultivated. It is said, or rather I should say, I have learned in my travels, that the silver that lie in the ground unmined have no value. Silver and gold only possess the value when it is brought out of the earth, cultivated, cleaned, and presented. We see that Guarma is still as undeveloped and in disrepair as the day we left. All of these things, they stand to be cultivated, to prosper and to grow. As I have said, the gold in the ground have no value. It must be pulled out and cultivated. As it stands, there is a lot of uncultivated value in Guarma.
I have 2 more questions for you.
You may ask 3.
I do have one for him as well, and there's a moment.
Do you intend to lay claim or tamper with any of the deceased upon the island?
We have not given thought to the dead.
You have no intentions of laying claim to or tampering with the dead on the island of Guarma?
This is a very strange question I don't understand. Our business is
I'm
with the
asking
living.
if you intend to repeat history, Edgar. I think it's a fair question. You claimed a dead man as a spoil of war. Do you intend on repeating this behavior?
You're going to have to clarify, I don't understand.
Edgar Lopez, you and your company, at one point, wished to claim the urn and the ashes of Lockjaw Jim as spoils of war. Do you intend to repeat this behavior on your return to this island?
The purpose of requesting the urn is beyond your comprehension, as is
I do not care for the purpose. I care for the answer to the question.
It is clear that you don't understand. Therefore, I will not answer your question on the grounds that it is invalid, based on
Let
your
it be noted
misunderstanding.
that Edgar Lopez refuses to answer a question given in good faith.
He said no, Shepard. He said he had no plans for the dead.
Edgar Lopez, how closely do you intend to work with the Saints Crossing Sheriff's Department in the near future?
As close as is necessary.
My final question, how many guests have you brought in attendance with you this evening?
You can use your eyes and see.
I count 4. How many were you told you could bring?
However many in this room, as they are here on my request, you two are a guest.
Jim Bunt is my guest for the evening.
Understood.
Edgar, you were talking about your time away, your travels, talking about this being a way to learn, bring new knowledge and ideas back to the island. What can you tell us that you learned in these travels?
I have learned many things, senor. Things that is unable to read in a book. Things that a man has to see with his own eyes. Before coming to Guarma, I, and I'm sure my compas here, lived our life in the saddles, on the seas, traveling, never digging roots. As is the case, we view the world in this way. When Delilah and Herbacinio said, Edgar, the castle, its beach is yours. King of the castle. A new perspective was granted to me. A home of permanence. This is very different. The land is it not, what can I take in this moment from it and move on? It now becomes, how can I cultivate? I had to re-see all the things I had seen before with this new perspective. Judging the land, not by what is there today that I can take, but what does this place offer in permanence? How did it come to be this way? What steps were taken so that it is still standing? The list is long and many. And these are things that we will collectively discuss and explore if you would like to ask something more specific, I will be humbled and ready to answer, Senor Julius.
Well, this is insightful. What lessons do you feel you learned from your first time here, or perhaps things that, with the long stretch of time between your last time living here and your return, you think can be improved upon?
Of course, Senor. It is annoying to me that persons must leave Guarma to take advantage of what the outside has to offer, take advantage of its infrastructure, of its commerce, of its money, and then bring the stuff back here, when everything that is needed and then some exists here. As I have said, there is banking systems, there is proper development when it comes to construction. When it comes to farming and agriculture, look no further than Caliga, which I have spent some time in, etc., etc. The land here is ripe. It is waiting to be picked, to be cultivated. The one thing I feel is how blind I was before. But of course, life is such that only experience can give these lessons. Commerce is muy importante. The flow of monies. It is everything in many places. It opens many doors. People currently look at Guarma as a place to come, to pick apart and to depart. I know because in my travels and in my time in the crossing already on my return, I have spoken to anyone and everyone about their impressions of Guarma. I do not get angry at their dismissive attitude because I understand. But soon this will change.
Edgar, have you found that most of the people you have spoken to in this regard have been dismissive of Guarma?
I have found, Senor, that Guarma is not necessarily a thought on their minds, Herbasinho, on their tongues. When they're looking for work, when they're looking to make money, when they're looking to vacation, relax. Guarma is inconsequential. Only because they have not seen and don't understand the potential.
If you have no more questions, I have some.
Go ahead.
I have no questions for you, Edgar. I know your heart. My questions are for those closest to you. The corporal, will you step forward? Come here. Before we begin, do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You said these men saved your life. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Would you be willing to recount the tale for us?
In a way.
By all means.
I was a lost soul. Wavered. As I suspect many of us are, or have been. I was out west. And lawless. I thought I would make money with the skills I have acquired in service of this nation. To steal and to rob. It was by El Paso way on my trip to the south. I had met a man who said there was a feller by the name of Edgar living in the crossing that could help a feller like me who was down on his luck. Not believing his words, I called him a liar, to which he took great offense. A fight ensued. And I apologize to you, Edgar, for revealing the truth to you now, that it was I who killed him. But with the memory of his death still fresh in my mind, Raoul's pleas for help echoing in my ear, I traveled to the crossing to seek the employ of this man, only to discover that he is among a trio of kings who in their great benevolence has employed me as knight. If that is not salvation, I do not know what is. Ma'am.
Thank you. One more question for you. If Edgar were a storm, what kind would he be?
Why, he would be the very tempest that washes all sailors trapped within upon the shores of Guarma, his rightful land.
Thank you. Sebas.
Sí, Bruja. I'm here to answer any questions you have.
I would like you to share with us the moment Edgar told you he wished to return.
The moment Edgar wished to return to the castle, I had returned from a trip to Cuba. I had gone there in order to study the Santeria that they practice there. He had found me in the city of Saint Denis. When I first saw him, I must admit, I tried to avert my eyes, to look the other way. I tried to go down an alleyway to avoid him. He walked faster to catch up to me, placed a hand on my shoulder. When I had faced him, and I had looked into his eyes, with the understanding that I have gained from the shamans of Cuba, they tell you Do not look at a man's face, look at the man's eyes. For that way you can see into a man's soul. And in that moment, I saw a burning inferno in the man's soul. He told me he'd been gone for a long time. That he had studied and he had learned the ways of kings around the world. And that it was time to return to the ground, to the castle that had been bequeathed upon us. And in that moment, Senora Bruja, all the apprehension, all of the fear that I experienced when I had first seen him across the street in Saint Denis, it had vanished, and he had instead filled my soul with the fire that he had inside of him. A smokeless fire, like an ifrit, like a jinn.
Step a little closer, please, Sebas.
Sí, Bruja.
Have you ever seen him hesitate? Not in action, but in thought. Not in fear, but in something deeper.
Not when it matters, Senora. Whenever Edgar has something on his mind, he will see it done.
And if Edgar were an animal, which animal would he be?
Senora, in my travels, I have traveled to various holy lands. I wish to understand Santeria. I wish to understand the voodoo they practice in Haiti. I have even traveled to the city of Alexandria in Egypt. I spoke to a man there who purported to be the great, however many removed, grandson of a philosopher by the name of Hermes Trismegistus. If I were to compare him to an animal, I would compare him to the vulture of Egypt. And let me explain to you why I say that.
Please.
The vulture in the United States, it is an animal that is looked down upon. It is an animal that nobody has any respect for. However, in Egypt, in Israel, in the old lands of Babylon, the vulture is a very respected creature because this is the animal that can fly closest to God than any other animal in the world. And that is a fact. The vulture can fly so high in the air. No other animal may even dare compare to it. That is how I see Edgar.
The Carrion King.
Sí.
A year ago, a very wise mage told me a prophecy that included 3 vultures returning to Guarma. Tell me, Sebas, what animal are you?
If I were to declare myself an animal, I would like to be as Edgar is. However, I do not believe I am as kingly or as regal as much as I intend to be. However, Senora, my experience on the island, it has changed me. Before I come here, I had been a little stitches. Perhaps not superstitious, but a little stitches. But since coming to this island, since seeing the magic of the island by the first hand, I have become a true believer. I have become interested in Santeria, in voodoo. I have become interested in Brazilian practitioners as well. I have read the Hermetic Corpus. I have met the Kybalion. I have read it. Perhaps I am a vulture as well, Senora, but of a different aspect and of a different type. On my travels to New Austin, when I look into the sky, I do not see the vultures flying above head, for they are not as regal as the Juans in the Middle East. For they are not as regal as the Juans in the Arabian dunes. However, I see them perched upon a rock with their wings spread aloft. Head turned upwards towards the sky. Feeling the sun upon the blackened feathers of its body. And in those moments I can see the wisdom in the wrinkles of its bald little head. I would like to be a creature such as that.
Thank you. One final question.
Say.
Will you serve Guarma as fiercely as you serve your king?
I will.
Thank you. Delgado.
Sí, Bruja.
Did you ever dream of Guarma while you were away?
Many times. Many times.
Will you share one with me?
There was a dream of recent. I was brought together with Edgar and Sebas. This dream, I was on the beaches, sitting there on the sand. I can see everything, the castle, the compound, all of Dulce. I can feel the cold wind. The moon was shining, the stars glistened. I can smell the salt water, the grains of sand. I can feel it. I got up onto my feet and I started to walk the beaches, observing everything, hearing the sounds of the gibbons, the sounds of the waves, people of the villages, talking, fires, burning as they cook for the evening. I started to run. Something in my body wanted me to run. I kept running faster and faster along the beach. I started to jump, and in each jump, I kept jumping higher and higher to the point where I started to fly. As I was flying, I can still smell the marine layer. I can feel water hitting my face. I was up in the clouds at that point, looking down on Guarma. If I have to be honest with you, Señorita Delilah, it was one of the best dreams I have ever had in my life. There was a feeling. There's a feeling that this island brings me. More than happiness, more than anything I could imagine. My dream was ended abruptly due to where I was staying. Been looking for the happiness ever since.
Thank you. What has he lost that he does not speak of?
And who is he?
Edgar.
There's only one thing that has been mentioned. That hasn't been mentioned, matter of fact.
But you know it.
Perhaps.
Even without him needing to use words. You know his heart.
You see, when I've met him, we worked together. Throughout all the time, all the years. He's become something of a hermano to me, a brother. When you spend a lot of time with somebody, you see things, you know things. It is almost as if we are connected. We think alike, we talk alike. Still somewhat different. There is something that my hermano has lost. Something that I can tell is dear to him. Perhaps you might know, Señorita Delilah.
Perhaps. One last question, Warrior Delgado. If you were to be blindfolded, would you still know when he was in the room?
I believe through my time with not only Edgar, but even Rodeo, Sebas, I will know when they're in my presence.
Thank you. Those are all the questions I have for now. You honor me by answering truthfully. Morgan.
Yes?
The floor is yours.
I've got a couple things to say. Relating to me, myself, Cinco Torres, Guarma, as well as Edgar over there. Is everybody able to hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Guarma is not just a patch of land. She is the blood and fire of the people who live here, who fight for her, who refuse to let her be broken. She is the healed scar on the earth, the fire in our hearts, and the land we've bled for and built upon. Guarma's heart is bruised, battered, and bloody. She is not meek, she is not tame. She is resilience, she is fire, and she is the defiance of those who thought they could own her. The people who walk the land are her bones and her soul. We have brought her back from the edge, and we will not let her fall again. We will never kneel. For years I have fed this land with the blood of her enemies, defending her from those who sought to take what they could not earn, those who sought to twist her into something weak, something they could control. I have both bled and spilled blood for this island, and I'm sure I will do again. Now I know many of you expect me to stand here and tell you why I deserve Cinco Torres over Edgar, but this isn't truly about me. This is about Guarma, about protecting what she has become from those who seek to turn her into something she was never meant to be. I did not step into Cinco Torres because I believed it was my right. I stepped in because Guarma needed the stability of a vanguard, someone who would stand in the fire with her, who would fight for her, who would never let her suffer the same fate she endured under the boot of tyrants nor the chaos they wrought. A true leader does not need to demand acknowledgement. A leader does not need to sit upon a throne of empty words, expecting others to fall in line. A leader does the work without expectation, without entitlement. A leader proves it in the blood and sweat of their actions. Any man who must say, "I am the king," is no true king. Edgar speaks of inheritance, but I must ask, what is a claim worth when it only exists only in the mind of the claimant? Guarma is not held together by imagined birthrights. She is not sustained by grand declarations or the arrogance of men who think they can buy or bargain what others bled to earn. Guarma is forged by the blood of her people, and it is her people who will always stand for her. We are the ones who fought for this island. We are the ones who tore it free from the tyrants who tried to own her, and we will never again allow anyone to take what is ours. Guarma belongs to her people, and I nor they will stand idly by while anyone threatens it. From the first drop of blood I spilled on this island to the day of my last breath, I promise I, Morgan Winwood, will protect her. That is all.
Open for questions. Council.
Allow me. Why don't we start off at the beginning? Why don't you tell us how you came to reside at the castle? What drew you there? What brought you there? And then eventually, what's kept you there?
So specifically in the castle, not specifically the island, just to confirm.
Yes, which if you'd like, how about this? If you'd like to start with Guarma, I'd be happy to hear that too. I don't think anyone would complain either. What brought you to Guarma?
Originally, somewhere to lay low, somewhere to enjoy, somewhere to embrace in its culture. When I first got off the boat, it was after the chaos that had ensued in the fort previously, where multiple people were shot, and I ran into Delilah, Rabbit, and a few other people going back up to Omen's bar. I was told the story of a man that overstepped his boundaries, went too far. And on that same night, I decided to stand by Edgar and Omen's Bar to make sure that they would not succeed. Now, if we are talking about the fort, it was empty for a long while after the previous occupants ran away. I believe me and Delilah spoke, and she suggested the idea of me moving in there, looking after it, keeping it safe from those who seek to destroy or harm Guarma in any way. And it is what I have done this entire time. Old enemies of the island, like William Hathaway, and other folk have returned, seeking conflict with me, standing in the very castle that I look after, trying to claim it as theirs. Me and mine butchered them and removed them from the castle, like we are meant to. People came here to disrespect Guarma, to do unsanctioned deathmatch, to mess around with the castle and do things that are just not allowed. Me and my two friends butchered the four of them as well. Point being, ever since I've stepped in that castle, I promised to protect not only Cinco Torres, but the island of Guarma. And as I said previously, that ain't ever gonna change. Does that answer the question?
Shepard.
I have no intent of asking questions. I will leave this to you two.
Julius.
What would you describe as things you are proud of since your time taking the reins at the castle?
I am proud of the fact that I managed to do the job that I moved in there originally for. Removing people, keeping it safe, looking after it. I'm proud of the successful business Pavis has started, and we have all helped with and produced something straight from the island, something pure to the island, something stored in that very castle we talk about now. I've invited guests. I've invited people who seek refuge. I have used the castle not just for my own interests, but for that of everybody on the island. I'm proud of the people I protect. I'm proud of the people I stand by. I'm proud of the person I am, and I'm proud of this fucking island.
Do you have any other questions, Jules?
You spoke of what the castle means to others, but what does it mean to you?
It is a symbol, it is a beacon, it is a sign of what Guarma can be at its greatest. It is a place that anybody that gets off the boat will look to it and see strength. And see the strength of not only the island, La Madre, but the strength of its people. That castle means strength to me, it means defense. It shows the peace and it also shows the fury of what Guarma can do to anybody that seeks to damage it, damage her, damage us. That's what the castle means to me.
I have one more question. And I want you to keep in mind when I ask this, it's out of curiosity, is not for judgment. It's just something I've been wondering. I might want to go back if we have a chance to ask others as well. Say, again, this is just curiosity. Say, a decision was made. You are no longer the warden of the castle. What would your course of action be after that?
As I said, the castle is a symbol. I love it. I adore it. But unlike some people, a castle isn't what makes me what I am. A warden of the castle or a warden of Guarma. I'm still going to do the exact same thing I've always been doing no matter what. As I've made it clear previously, it's not just the castle that means something to me. It's all of you in this room. It's La Madre.
Mm-hmm.
It's the island. So to make it simple, continue to fight for her.
That's all my questions.
Any more questions, Jules?
No, I'm satisfied for now.
In the last 2 years, Morgan Winward, would you say your love for Guarma has grown?
Of course it has, only naturally. Anyone that would stay here for that amount of time would only grow admiration for the island.
Do you think if you weren't on the island, your love would have grown?
If you mean after I was originally here, yes, I believe it would have. The crossing is grey and quite often dull in comparison.
And have you changed as a man in the last 2 years? Have you grown?
All my life I've been changing. All my life I've been growing. I wasn't the same person I was a year ago, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. So of course.
I want you to step forward, turn to Edgar, look him in the eyes, and tell me what you see.
I see a man that seemingly has a lot of ambition. But I also see a man that I don't necessarily believe could back it up. I see a man that, at a moment's notice, or at something that he didn't like going wrong, or a decision that the council makes that he doesn't like, I see him not sitting still about it. I see violence, or I see running. He's pretty good at both.
You don't see a changed man, a different man from the man who stood here 2 years ago?
I'd like to believe and hope that he's got smarter this time.
And if he were to prove that he could back it up, what would you do? Would you view him as an equal?
If he could back it up, and if he could put in the same extent of work and change that I have, then yeah, why not? Everyone deserves a couple of extra chances sometimes. Edgar's just running out of them.
I call Pavis. Thank you, Morgan. From your perspective, Pavis, what does Morgan hunger for?
Above all,
Above all,
peace of mind, a place to belong.
when he makes a promise to you, what does it feel like?
Inevitable. It will happen.
When he looks at the castle, does he see something that belongs to him? Or a chess piece?
Neither. He sees duty. Something he is sworn to do, something he is sworn to protect. People he is sworn to protect. Ideals. Practices.
I have another question for you, but one you do not have to answer, to be clear. Would you tell us the moment you fell in love with Morgan Windward?
It was here on Guarma, the first time he brought me. I'd never seen the island before then, but he insisted I go. Wright was out on a business trip, so it was just he and I for a week. One of the trips we made was here. We got close in that week, but it wasn't until I was on that boat heading back to the mainland where it became fairly evident that I had feelings beyond friendship for Morgan.
What was it about him that you loved the most?
I've known Morgan for many, many years. He's been in the crossing for as long as I have. And we've always been going down the same trail, although we were on opposite sides of it for a time. There was finally someone that understood everything. Though our ideals might have been different at the time, and even butted heads on occasion. We still understood each other. Everything we had lost, everything we had gained. All of the victory and the pain we had gone through. And then I saw his passion for a place like this. Everything he held near and dear. He's an easy man to fall in love with.
I want you to turn and look him in the eye and tell me what you see.
I see a man who is wholly dedicated to the people he loves. And sometimes even the ones he doesn't. A man who is bound by his honor. A man who is willing to give, in my opinion, one too many chances, even if others may not deserve it. He is merciful, but he is not weak.
So quick. Thank you, Pavis.
Of course, thank you.
Right? Would you step forward, please? What kind of fighter would you say Morgan Winward is?
What kind of fighter is Morgan Winward? A good one. Definitely the kind you'd want to have in watching your back.
Does he lead from the front or from the shadows?
That's a tricky one. Both. It's whatever's more favorable in any certain situation. But he is the one to throw himself in front of things, if need be.
I've noticed something about Morgan. I wonder if you have as well. He doesn't like to raise his voice. Have you noticed this?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, maybe he's actually happy. You know, something most of us don't fucking get or see.
You don't think he might be afraid of what might happen if he does?
I'm sure he's seen his angry side.
Have you?
No. Or maybe I have, and I just couldn't tell. If he does get angry, it's not like how I do.
And how do you get angry?
I get loud. And I get violent.
If Morgan Winward were to kill you, how do you think he would do it?
In a duel, most likely. A fair one. Pretty sure I earned that.
Ah. Earn. Interesting.
And that is how he'd kill me, because he'd definitely win.
And if you were to kill Morgan Winward, would you hesitate?
You mean if I had to?
That's not what I said.
What you said was, if I killed him, would I hesitate?
That's right.
Hesitate to what? Kill him again?
To kill him. In the act of killing him, do you think you would hesitate?
No.
And how did you meet? Would you share the story with us?
Yeah, sure. Well, I knew him a while before we started working together. You see, I was law enforcement for a while. Had a few run-ins with him. Shot at him a couple times. But yeah, that's how we met.
What stood out to you about him?
People liked him. Shit, I couldn't help myself to like him neither. Easy to talk to. Easy to reason with.
Thank you. Coho.
Juicio.
Do you have any idea in which the ways Morgan Winward has protected you from me?
No. I reckon Morgan's the type to preserve peace of mind. He'd help me whether I know it or not.
Would you die for him?
On many occasions, I have thrown myself in front of bullets for him.
Why?
Did it yesterday, I'd do it today. He's my brother. He sacrificed a lot for me, and I've done the same for him. We've been through rough times. Some easy, but a lot of rough. Man, when the waves get turbulent, a lot of people tend to paddle away. But throughout one through line since I met the man, he's been by my side.
Do you dream of Guarma?
Well, in a way, yes. My dream of my wife, with whom I became fully committed to on Guarma.
Tell me your favorite memory of your wife, please.
There are so many. First thing that came to mind was our wedding. But that, as much as it meant, was a symptom of our love that came much, much earlier. I'd have to say, my favorite moment came in the most treacherous time of my life. I had gone to prison and spent a lengthy sentence in solitary confinement. Tormented for a long time. And I were a nice fella before I went in, and when I got out, I was much worse. Made some decisions without thinking about others. Decisions that suited my own suicidal tendencies. To be violent, to seek things I didn't really need to look for, things I already had. Surrounded by my gang members. Everyone just yelled angry with me that I could throw my life away. There was only one that was crying for me, pleading with me, who made me see the light. And that was her.
Thank you. Edgar, Morgan, will you two step forward again, please? Edgar, do you have any questions for Morgan?
I'm sure if I... Or rather, if we have the time, I could ask the man 1,000. I would say that it is very positive that he is so dedicated to Guarma. And that is not so much the castle, but the island itself that his love and allegiance lie to. I believe with certain harmony, great things can be done. Harmony among persons, of course, is the meaning behind my words.
Morgan, do you have any questions or final thoughts?
If you were to lose this trial, Edgar, and never manage to take claim or live in the castle, would you act in violence? Would you still care for the island? What would you do?
Senor, I've heard you many times talk of violence, talk of losing, talk of winning, talk of second chances. There is nothing here to lose. You understand? This is not a contest. This is a very important point. As a matter of fact, it's a fact. I did not come here with the purpose of contesting. I have come to hear, and I have heard many things. The words of the judges, the words of Coho, Senor Wright, the wonderfully written speech that you gave earlier. As I have said, many of the things I have heard are pleasing, and the stuff that is mispleasing, it go in one ear and out the other, because they do not serve the future of Guarma. It is wonderful again, I say, the point made that it is not so much the castle that is your concern, but the love of the island, that you will stand and protect the island against the enemies who try to come here. In my absence, you spoke of slapping down Hathaway. And this is a wonderful thing, to slapping down Hathaway, especially in the 1-2 year span. But believe you me, senor, if your heart is in the progress and the future of Guarma, there will be many things to do, and you can soon forget this small Hathaway, for there are bigger challenges ahead. Challenges that I hope everyone here, all members included, and even some that are not here in this room, will work together to overcome.
Is it fine if I ask him another question?
Go ahead.
In your mind, what does the word strength actually mean to you? The strength of La Madre, the strength of the island, the strength of the fort. What does that look like in your eyes?
The strength of the fall? What means strength of the fall?
Fort. As in the castle.
Strength is a good thing. It is wonderful. Take, for example, a strong axe that is used to hew a tree, to cut something down. You can get one of low quality, or you can get one that is built of stern stuff. But mind you, senor, The axe, no matter how strong it is useless if the bearer or the mind controlling the axe is no good. Strength is like the silver underground that I tried to explain earlier. It must be brought out and polished. Strength is something that must be welded and used in combination and in concert with foresight, intelligence, and cunning. The gladiator is a good thing, but he is not the one that built the nation. A strong soldier is a good thing, but he is not the one drawing up the tactics. This is why I spoke of harmony. Things must work in harmony. You may ask any more question you please.
Judges.
I think I know the answers to the other ones, so I'm good.
Thank you, Morgan. Judges, do you have any final questions? Before I ask my final questions.
No, please.
Morgan, if the island willed it, if the council determined it necessary, if the wind whispered through the trees, crept through the tide, and told you the only way we could all keep Guarma was to scorch the crossing to its bones, so that none who remained could speak its name, so that its shadow stretched long and unchallenged, and told you to do it alongside Edgar, would you do it? Would you take up the torch beside him? Would you watch the flames devour the earth?
The question isn't as easy as a yes or no.
It is to me.
If it was the only option, sure.
Edgar, I told you to be ready to answer a question. Do you remember?
See?
The time is now. No more waiting. No more weighing the shape of the answer in your mind. Give me your answer, Edgar.
Dominus.
Understood? Those are all my questions.
Are we ready to convene?
Yes, please.
All right, everyone. At this time, the judges will convene. We ask politely and kindly if the rest of you will just take a moment outside, or we won't be long, and we'll call y'all back in. Thank you again, everyone. I mean, my heart is full.
Jesus. One at a time. Fuck.
But very interesting questions.
Sure would be a shame if either group had to not get to live where they wanted.
Hey, JJ. You come back. If we're not in 5 minutes, come back in so you can check the tunnel for us. Yeah, but go outside, come back in 5 minutes.
Would you like me to remain here while you deliberate, or shall I step aside?
No, you stay.
Very well. I have two things I'd like to address immediately, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred you not interfere with our united front during my questioning of Edgar.
That's great. I would prefer you not help someone that tried to kill me. So I guess we agree to disagree.
The issues between us should be resolved elsewhere and not when the council is trying to present itself as such.
Well, let's note this down for the next meeting.
Very well. The other subject, the man that you invited on their behalf? Or was it a man that you met in a different circumstance?
No, I allowed him because none of my people bothered to show up.
I see. I simply wanted to ensure that he was playing according to the rules. That's all.
No, I understand. And my fault. I should have made it clear to everybody beforehand. I'd mentioned to some people, and that is, I fucked up. That was my mistake.
It's not a grave issue. Just would have saved me the trouble, I suppose.
Right. No, I should have, honestly, I should have gathered a list, and there's a couple other people that we invited on behalf of the island, like Mary Dalloway and Wainwright and that Vice, the Malcolm Weiss that was in here because he helped with the amputation the other night. And he's very interested in speaking with all three of you, actually. And he's been here a couple times, so it was kind of to do a nicety to someone who's making an effort to learn more about this place. So
Malcolm
I will.
Is
that
one thing, but yes, it did come across as potentially Edgar was able to flaunt the rules. I know that was not the intention.
Right. Then I will. This is my mistake. Next time I'll get a big list from everybody. If we do this again, or anything that requires guests and seats and stuff like that, who is coming for who and who's guests, and we'll have it to everyone beforehand. Well, fair points.
But that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to delay deliberations any longer.
Just delay it all you want. This is fucking hard.
I have a proposal.
Is it we escape out the tunnel and go fishing?
Tempting.
Yes.
I would like to give them both a chance to prove their devotion to Guarma with action and not words. 30 days. Each side does what they can to make Guarma better, to show us how their mind works, how their body works, how they work together and in unison or apart.
All right, so we'll see what everybody's willing to do for the island.
That's right.
I know Morgan said they have a lot of ideas aside from this rum thing and then this questionably factual newsletter that they have. But so I'm sure he's ready. I'm sure Edgar has ideas too. Think a month is fair time?
There's magic in a 30-day cycle.
Yes, it is one thing for them both to say these things, another to take action.
Edgar's right. This was a hearing. For words. Now the trial begins.
Very well. I have only one question then. For this duration, where do both parties occupy? Where do they stand?
For the next 30 days, the castle belongs to Guarma. They may use it for meetings, but no one is to live there or reside there or claim it as their own. They may make do without.
When you say they are not to claim it as their own, does this include in the mainland when talking to others?
They can say whatever they like to the mainland.
You intend to have them prove their loyalty to Guarma and not the castle first?
That's correct.
It seems appropriate.
Now we can either give them examples or just let them get creative.
I think we don't help them.
I agree.
If they want to come to us for advice to find out what people need because they want to find out what's going on here, like there's that doctor that needs help, wants to build a medical facility in the hotel, let them figure it out. Let them take the initiative.
Julius?
I think this is a good idea. It gives us an opportunity to see them in action. They're all capable of pretty words. But words are not what we are looking for here.
Question then. I assume I don't have any desire to remove Morgan from the council, obviously. But if he is there and they are on equal footing, does Edgar go on the council now?
Yes, effective immediately. They both must be equal during these 30 days.
I agree.
All right. JJ, oh, perfect time. Should we have her bring them in?
Yes, please.
JJ, would you tell everyone to come back inside?
Sure can.
I don't believe I need to speak further, so I'll let you three make the proclamations.
Thank you.
You could stay up here with us.
Oh, I'm staying. I'm just.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought you were walking away.
Never. Not from you.
Good. Do you want to split this up, or are you gonna say it all, Dell?
Would you like to split it up?
I just know if everyone's prepared.
I don't mind speaking.
I think the hearing bit that we've heard is really good.
I'm sorry, Rose. Oh, he was speaking to,
you're fine, JJ. Space is just a space. I would just lean up against the stairwell because it was comfy.
Is everyone who needs to be present present?
I don't believe Coho and Drama are here. I'm not sure if they're heading this way or not, though.
Drummer is a guest, not a requirement. Co-host presence is up to you.
I think he'll come in soon. That's fine to continue.
The council has an offer.
Would you two please step forward?
Edgar Lopez was right. This was a hearing. Words. We listened. You listened. And tonight, under the dark of the new moon, we begin the trial phase of these proceedings. 30 days. That is what you have. Not to argue, not to posture, but to prove. Not with words, but with action. Show us what you are. Show us what you can build. Make Guarma shine. During these 30 days, the castle belongs to Guarma. It is not a prize. It is not a shelter. It is a proving ground. Now, what you tell people in the crossing is not our concern. You may hold meetings. You may use it as you see fit in that regard. And as of this moment, Edgar takes his seat on the council. His duties do not wait, they begin now. Do you accept?
To have a seat on the council is a great thing, and that which is so nobly offered, I shall so nobly accept. As for the 30 days, there is many things already in motion that I am to conduct from the seat of the castle. The current stipulations that you are here announcing is but an interference to this. What say you to this?
You may use the castle as you see fit in your plans and planning.
And what if Morgan Winworm? Where is he to be in the meantime? Will he also be under the impression, or rather will he be under the impression, that he is to share the castle?
If he needs to use it in his plans, then you boys will have to share for the next 30 days, yes.
Tell me, Senor Morgan, what is your thoughts?
I can share. And all I've been doing is proving myself these 2 years. What's another 30? 30 days.
This is the one point that we must differ here. If you share it, you will do it as a guest of the castle, as a distinguished guest of mine, of the Castilians.
No.
It is well, I reject these terms.
Hold on a second. You can reject these terms as is. So,
Say again.
No, I've said you can reject these terms as is, but it doesn't mean we can't find something to agree on here. Everything else you find acceptable, right?
Of course. I even look forward to the prospect of working with this man, with no rancor whatsoever.
So, let me understand this. Let's say you don't have anything particularly planned for an evening at the castle yourself. Morgan has something he has planned there. It's been given notice to you and to us, and he wants to hold it there. You're not going to do anything to stop him or mess with him or do anything like that. It's a matter of words, right? That he is not sharing it equally. He is your guest.
Exactly.
I'm willing to sacrifice 50% of what I already look after and has protected in the 2 years this man has not been here. If he's not willing to also make a sacrifice and accept that it's 50-50, then I think that's a reflection of everything we've spoken about previously.
I will say that it is not a 50% sacrifice. It is instead a privilege. During this hearing, I paid attention to every word spoken. You announced yourself that you were approached and given the idea that perhaps you can move in there and look after it. We are very gracious to you have looking after it, to have it reading a hat away when he come in. Truly. We look forward and trust your words when you express that Guarma is your number one concern. Not the castle, but the entirety of the island. Whereas you were suggested that perhaps you can look after it. A great personages said it is yours. The words of Head Basinio was king of the castle. Since then, that title was consecrated in blood, in ritual. We have departed for a time with aims to improve this place. We have returned. We are gracious to those who have looked after it and are looking forward to working with them very closely. The 30 days is wonderful. And if you are to use the castle, you may do so as a guest of ours.
I did indeed say I'd protect it. Maybe it got lost in... I don't know. Maybe you got a little bit confused. I'm not just protecting it from other people. Hathaway, fucking Hathaway's an ant. I'm protecting it from you as well, until it is deemed one way or another.
I will cite you a passage from the wisdom of Solomon. When two persons were contesting the authority over a child, Solomon, wanting to decide, said, "We will cut the baby in half," to both mothers who say the child is theirs. One of the mothers said, "Go ahead, I agree to this." The other one says, "Please, no. We will not have the child. In this, Solomon understood that the person unwilling to have the child was the true bearer. I will not have the castle. The Castilians and that landmark on this island is a pillar. There are big motions that have already been put in place. When people of the mainlands are to come here, who are waiting to come here per my bidding, they will come to the landmark. I will not have it halved. I will not risk doing this for the island. I will not do that to my child that is the castle. I will not have him.
The council has heard you both. Give us a moment to deliberate. Please step back, everyone. You don't need to leave.
Stay in here.
But to
you
the
don't
wall.
have to leave. Shit. We were very close. We're very close.
It is at this time I tell you a little secret.
Okay.
Morgan doesn't give a shit about the castle.
Motherfucker.
He'd rather be in the compound.
He told you this?
He did tell me this. This is a good play. We can offer him the compound now.
But do you want to talk to him first? To make sure? Because if you make the offer now and he's all heated up by this pride bullshit, they could be getting riled up. You got to talk some sense into him.
Well, when was this conversation with Morgan? I would assume it still holds if he has not said otherwise.
I agree. However,
Yeah, but you don't know. He could be pissed off right now. Listen, if you want, I will. If you want a moment to talk to Edgar, I'm going to grab those guys. I'm going to go give Delgado his gun back. It'll seem like a big fucking deal if you want to see if you can convince Edgar. And then we come back and you could, if he agreed, then you do it.
I think this is an opportune moment to give Morgan what he wants. But I think you should get the gun anyway.
Right,
I'll call
But
Morgan
we can
forward.
also insist that he still must allow Morgan to use
Right.
the castle when he wishes, that sort of thing, right? Keep that
Morgan-
He agreed
part
to
of the
that.
deal.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's what
Morgan
I'm
would just
saying.
have
If
to
we
eat this
reiterate
guest
that.
bullshit.
Exactly.
All right. I'm going to take them with me and then you speak with Morgan, all right?
No, don't take anyone anywhere until it's over.
Oh,
You should go
well,
get the gun and bring it here. As a thank you and welcome home, I suppose.
yeah, well, I could do that anytime.
All right.
Do you want to
May
talk to
I
Morgan?
say something and interrupt?
Yeah, please.
I would like to make a suggestion.
Okay.
Is Mr. Morgan present?
Yeah, he's right over there.
I'm listening, Edgar.
What I have said about working in concert with the persons here, I say it sincerely. I will make a recommendation. I would say Edgar will not sit on the council and you give that seat to Morgan here, who is so willing and ready to serve the island.
Morgan is already on the council. He just wasn't for today because he's part of the hearing.
Understood.
That is why you will be on equal footing now that you are part of the council. Very generous of you to offer that.
Yes, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was actually.
I didn't do it out of kindness. I did it for the sake of the future of Guarma. So that it be strong.
The council notes your strength, Edgar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We do want your input, though. We do value it, so.
Morgan, step forward, please. Nice and close.
So ticklish.
I will, I think they need a moment with Morgan for a second. I will be right back.
Does our conversation still hold true?
It does.
Then I'm making the play now.
Okay. I don't know what that child stuff was about. I'm the one that's been looking after the kid.
Are you all right with this?
Yes, I think this is a good play.
I do too. We have an offer. Everything about the deal, the trial, stays the same, save for the castle portion that Edgar found distasteful. We would like to offer Morgan the compound instead. Do you accept?
Yes.
Then these proceedings will continue with the trial portion, concluding the hearing portion. Let it be known over these next 30 days you are both still on trial. You must prove your loyalty to Guarma. You both immediately have a seat on the council and your duties begin, and you have until the full moon to show us what you can do for Guarma. If you both agree, we will sign in blood. Julius, I'll let you take it from here.
By signing this, you are both agreeing to the terms outlined. 30 days. Morgan will reside here in the compound. Edgar and his people at the castle. The castle will be a shared space as needed, with Morgan as a guest.
Of course, under the leave of the Castilians, which would be ourselves. Just as if we were to use the compound, we would not do so without first seeking consent from Morgan and his entourage.
Very well. At the end of the 30 days, we will reconvene. Someone would like to present a blade to these gentlemen.
What happened? I invited whoever was out there.
Would you mind cutting my index? Thank you.
These are Flo's guests.
Edgar,
Of course.
you step forward. Press your blood into the book.
Did you do it?
Yes, we did.
What the fuck?
What? Did you not want me to do it?
While I'm outside?
I'm sorry. I have another favor to ask.
What?
Will you allow me to give him the gun?
No.
All right.
Morgan. Council members. Shepard, Dale, Herbie. We can get you to sign as well. With that, it is done. May this agreement be guided on wisdom, clarity, balance, under the watchful eyes of La Madre. With the spirits of the land, the ancestors, I seal this agreement.
Thank you. But this with the others. Well, I thank you both for reason and keeping in mind Guarma above all else, above ourselves, and realizing that when we all work together and we all agree and we all work as one, we can crush anybody who opposes us and other nice, sweet things. Now, before we go, I have one last thing I would like to do. Mr. Vicente Delgado, will you please come up here? Now, I know you've been waiting this for a long time, but I think this is the perfect time to return to you the gun which you brought off the island to spread the word of Guarma. I return it to you now with the hope that you will continue to do the same. And why not look good while you're doing it too? Palabra de la Isla. Go fuck him, tell him what it is.
Gracias, gracias. Thank you all for putting this together. I'll make sure this one is still dedicated to the island.
Thank you, Herbacinho.
I'd like to thank the rest of the council too. I thank both of you and all of your guests, everyone else who came and sat here through this. It really, as I said, my heart is big today. It really is.
I would like to congratulate you, Senor Morgan, on your new abode. We look forward to working with you.
It's good to see you back, Edgar.
All right. Who wants something to drink?
Do you have some of that old pirate rum, Senor Herbacinho?
No, we got a bar on this island, but I'm not the goddamn waiter. Let's take a walk.
I thought you were gonna pull them up out of your pockets.
No, yeah, not quite.
Where is the bar, Senor?
The bartender is on your stage right now.
Did you not remember when it exploded? What? Did you lose memory of where it is?
The Omens bar.
Yeah, Omens bar.
See.
If you don't mind, Delilah.
I don't.
Let everybody who is looking to have a drink or just commiserate as we are all together. Let's make it last as long as we can. And we'll be heading up to Omens bar. Please take your time. All right. Very proud of everybody. This was something else today. I'll be outside.
I suppose.
Yep, okay, bye.
Interesting.
Well done.
Do you think so?
I do think so.
means a great
Do you
deal
plan
to
to
me.
make an... I'm glad. Do you plan to make an appearance at your own bar?
I suppose I should.
Nothing wrong with being fashionably late.
Shall we?
I also want to thank everybody for coming to the compound. It's good to have you all here. And we should all drink a shit ton of red rum.
Do you plan on doing so at Omens?
At Omens.
At Omens, yeah. I'm just appreciative to see so many people in this lovely building.
I'll see you all there.
Of course.
Surgeon.
Hello again.
It was unfortunate.
Will you three be joining us?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, TBD.
All right.
I would like to know what transpired in there, if possible.
But I get the feeling people are going to talk about it for like hours and hours anyway, so one way or the other, you'll find out.
I know, I just wish I was invited by Herbie earlier. God damn it.
I assumed that you were invited under Julius. Apologies.
No, he picked his three already.
I see.
Which was Ro, Jossa, and Rose. Which is, it's fine. I'm just
Yes, you're
being
clearly
an ass.
okay with it.
Yes, I wish I was there.
They both have 30 days to prove with action what they can do for Guarma.
That is an interesting conclusion, and I look forward to hearing all about it.
I look forward to seeing you three at the bar should you choose to join.
Thank you.
Delilah, before you go anywhere, have you checked on Isaac recently?
No.
Okay. Just
But I
double
heard
checking.
his leg is missing.
That's what I'm hearing as well.
Well,
and
Isabella
I'm just
chopped it
asking.
off. Yeah.
Delilah was there, yes.
I was being a smart ass.
Yes, but you're a nice smartass anyway. But yeah, no, I don't know if Isaac has it or not. I assume he's resting. Just trying to see what exactly happened to it after we left it with him.
I didn't take it.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just wondering if you know if anyone
I
has
know
been up
you
there
weren't.
or...
I was volunteering for you. One less thing to think about, I suppose. I haven't seen
Well,
it.
I do appreciate it.
If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thank you. That'd actually be great.
Hopefully we'll see you three later.
Yep.
Of course. Stay safe.
You too. Did you enjoy that little one?
Yeah.
I'm glad. It seems she enjoyed it as well.
I suppose so. Did you?
Oh, I did. Very much.
wait to see what they do with their 30 days.
It will be glorious, I'm sure.
Jeez, it's one heck of a storm.
The island is very happy.
I think so.
Man, that was crazy. That was nuts. I'm so glad that went so well, you guys. I hope they liked it. I hope they enjoyed it. My whole plan for organizing that was to give the reason why I limited it to 3 people. Well, truly, I limited it to 3 people to let everybody worry that it was going to be PvP 4-person limit. But secretly, I limited it to 3 people because I wanted to give everybody a chance to speak and monologue a little bit. So everyone could kind of like see each other's RP and have a moment. And then, you know, and then we could learn a little bit about each other and really kind of set the tone for the next 30 days. And then I had not told the rest of the council that I was going to propose that they do a 30-day trial. So I'm really glad everyone was like, yes, let's do that. That's awesome. I think it extends the role play for them. It gives them a chance to actually like, you know, role play working together. It's Guarma versus the Crossing. If they want to fight each other, they can. But like it really kind of felt like, you know, yeah. It was so good to hear from Delgado and Sebas. Oh my God. I was so glad to hear from them. It's like, these are your principal players on the board. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to like let them speak and be like, here you go. And then basically everyone gets a look at the cast, you know, of this Game of Thrones that we're doing right here. And, you know, whether or not Edgar and his crew, you know, decides to, you know, fight or, you know, whatever, I just think it would be really cool. Personally, this is just my personal opinion on it. I just thought it would be cool if, because we did the Edgar versus people of the island 2 years ago. We did that story already. So I kind of want, personally, I want to see something different. So I wanted to offer something different to be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. If you guys want to fucking shoot each other down and, you know, a fight, that's fine. But at least I'm extending that floor for you guys. The fucking fact that Edgar chose Domino's fucking floored me, you guys. I'll be honest with you. I've been on the fence about that. I don't know which is more interesting. If he chose to rule alone or if he chose to share power. I really wanted to see the three of them on a seat together. I thought that would have been very cool. And they had to like agree and then have their voice be heard. I thought that would be really cool. But basically, that was just also me, PB, going, hey, Graham, and, you know, give me a minute. You know, like, I'm offering them a place to come and play as well, you know, on the council and stuff like that. So that was just me giving Peppo a hard choice for Edgar to choose whether he wanted to rule alone or share his power. And he did not disappoint. He chose the interesting option, which is to fucking, you know, maybe potentially betray his people. I don't know. But I have some more secrets and surprises, and I totally forgot I was going to announce a thing at the end of that, but I'm glad I didn't. Because it was, you know, it went long and it was everything it needed to be. I think he was worried about their availability. That makes sense. Well, I wonder if they would want to play more if they had a seat. You know, that was also me just inviting them to come and play more, you know? But man, they nailed those monologues, you guys. They did such a good job. It was unreal. Unreal. So our alt account, which is what we're streaming on right now, the Pumpkin Barely, is unfortunately under 30 days old, which means I can't raid anyone. So what I'm going to say is there are lots of channels still streaming. I've logged out so that I could talk to you guys. But I am going to go ahead and log back in, I think. And at least go up to the bar. I wonder if Edgar shared with Sebas and Delgado that they all decided Dominus. Yeah, I would love that. That would be super interesting to me. But yeah, I just really wanted to kind of like gas up the idea of the witch to the king as well. You know, that kind of role play if you want, you know, that's the kind of role that he's put Delilah in. So I don't mind doing that. And really, I just wanted a trial that wasn't going to be something that we've done before, you know, and I thought it'd be cool if everybody had a chance to monologue and answer Delilah's weird questions, you know. I just didn't want it all to be focused on Edgar and Morgan, even though, you know, like technically it is, but it's also very much about the people around them that lift them up, you know, because it's basically if Edgar gets the castle and Morgan, you know, Morgan gets the compound, they're both suddenly taking very big pillar spots on the island. And yeah, it's, you know, like the compound has more weight than Omens even. So it's just kind of like this idea of, man, a lot of characters got brought into that scene. Yeah, even Middleditch on his Canadian guy. That was awesome. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed the series of monologues. I thought they were incredible. But yeah, that was fucking fantastic, man. So I am going to end here because that was just too good of a place to end that. That storm coming in at the last second. Holy fucking shit, man. That was crazy. But yeah, so we're going to fade out here. I adore you so much. And if I need to stand up and stretch. And if I log back in, you'll see me probably on another stream. But thank you so much for coming to hang out. I do like how Morgan subtly kind of rolled on me a little bit there in the beginning by being like, Delilah's the one that told me to sit in the castle. And I was like, oh, okay. Is this how you want to play this? Well, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Does anybody know who else on Guarma is streaming right now? I'm going to throw some usernames in here. I'm just going to throw some usernames in for you guys. That way. Ooh! Okay, give me a minute. Orcish. Flick, which is Flicker Clad. Tank. Middle Ditch. They're all streaming, motherfuckers. They're all going. Graham? They're all going. So there you go. I adore your faces and your butts. And I'll see ya on the flip side.